Hello? Hello? Is this thing live? What do I say? Oh god. Let me check my notes. Whew. Hello, and welcome to Dolphin's Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream as hosted by Logic Dolphin. Handelabra believes in civil rights for everyone and in being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively work against those goals are not welcome and will not be tolerated. You can follow us at Handelabra Games on Twitch or Handelabra on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. You can follow me personally at Logic Dolphin on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, and pretty much any avenue. Sentinels of the Multiverse, Sentinels of Earth Prime, Bottom of the Ninth, One Deck Dungeon, One Deck Galaxy, Aeon's End, and Spirit Island are all available on Steam, iOS, and Android devices. And One Deck Dungeon is also available on Switch. Is that right? I don't know. I don't actually have notes here. I'm just reciting from memory. I think there's also an outro, but I forget what there's. So it is. Oh crap! I got myself discombobulated. Okay. I think that's all I have to really say. Yeah, I'm back. Hello. I'm back. No, I'm back. Had a hiatus after a hiatus. Yeah, I should be back. I'm planning on doing Thursday evening streams on this channel again, like the good old days. But also, I don't know why there's no alert for this stream. Can I just open the channel and be like, oh yeah, there's like a streaming channel, but there's no message there. Oh right, there isn't even an announcement anymore. I will just type it in announcements or streaming. I will do streaming. It's more streaming. Yes. Sorry. I am new to the streaming thing. Anyway, yeah, it's been an interesting year so far for me. Been busy with work. Work is good. Yeah, not really much to say other than that. It's been an interesting year. Nothing happened. But I am here. I tried for a period to try to do like the stream where it was a random day of the week, but it was kind of like too random for me, and I would just forget every week. Like, oh, am I going to stream on this day? Let's not bother. I'm going to go with Thursdays for the time being, although I do know I do have some Thursday shifts just scheduled in a couple of weeks, unfortunately. But let's just say by default it's Thursday unless otherwise announced. And Handelabra, in the meantime, has been hard at work, working on Spirit Island, of course, working on the Jagged Earth expansion, which is now 100% feature complete. Nice. And they also are working on Promo Pack 2 right now, set to release, not today. I would say at some point in the future, but apparently I can't even say that. I said before the heat of the universe, but I can't say that either. It'll be released eventually, ... Voice trails. But in the meantime, I'm here to play Spirit Island on stream. The game that I would say I haven't played in a while, but actually I have been playing with a friend as of late. But I haven't done it solo, and haven't done it while talking out every single action that I'm doing. So yeah. And yes, there are some more options here. Our story begins with an island. Long before humans ever knew it, the island was there. It was fairly small, of average size, fairly large, quite large, very expansive, absolutely huge. Yeah, we're not doing those yet. I have done some 4-player games on stream in the past. Not done 5 or 6 yet. Those I probably need to dedicate an evening to, not a couple of hours. Let's go with 2 boards and spirits. I like the number 2. One is like solo spirit world and interactions are weird, and 3 is a large number. Let's do 2. When the invaders came, only 2 spirits were able to fight. They were, well, of course, varied and diverse. The first sign of the invaders were the flags of their ship rising over the horizon. To the Dahan, they looked like... I like random, changing patterns of light. As more ships followed in support, their flags looked like... yeah, supporting adversary. No, they're the same as all the rest. No. Yeah. Well, I have this sorted by least played. to help me see which spirits I need to play more of, which is mainly the Jagged Earth spirits. However, Downpour Drenches the World has been demoed on Handelabra games, so it is fair for me to play, so I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then I'll proceed to get in trouble, I guess, but we'll ask forgiveness rather than beg permission. And the other spirit here is Thunder Speaker. Should I stick with that, or should I just go, like, full river? I know there are some aspects that will become in promo pack 2. I don't know which have been shown on stream yet, so I want to avoid aspects for the time being. Now let's stick with Thunder Speaker. This is what the gods have given me. I've also been given France, and I last played on 2 with my friend. Let's click it up to 3, just because. Just because. All right, so let's start off with the things I am familiar with. France 3. So additional loss condition is sprawling plantations. There is a limit of 7 towns per starting board. Invaders win if you ever cannot place a town. So 14 towns. Escalation effect is demand for new cash crops. After exploring, on each board, pick a land of the shown terrain. If it has buildings, add a blight, otherwise add a town. So, have to be strategic whether we want blights or towns. We also have Frontier Explorers. Except during setup, after invaders successfully explore into a land which had no buildings, add an explorer there. So, explorers are resilient, but also slave labor. During setup, put the slave rebellion event under the top 3 cards of the event deck and then proceed to forget about it. After invaders build in a land with 2 explorers or more, replace all but 1 explorer there with an equal number of towns. Oh boy, towns. Speaking of towns, early plantations. During setup, on each board, add a town to the highest numbered land without towns, and add a town to land number 1. Okay. Fear card distribution at this level is 4 at tier level 1, 4 at tier level 2, 3 at tier level 3. Although technically the 4th card is at tier level 2, but details. And this is difficulty 7. And yeah, Thunder Speaker is here. Put 2 presents on your starting board, 1 in each of the 2 lands with the most Dahan. And usual fare here. But Downpour is new to me. I do have the spirit. I have all the spirits physically, but I've not actually played the spirit ever, nor have I really played much physical Spirit Island, period. But yeah. The deluge. As the Dahan say, when the very air turns to water and the sound of rainfall drowns out all but the loudest thunder, at that moment when it could not conceivably pour anymore, and then suddenly, impossibly, it is raining twice as much, that is the downpour. Downpour drenches the world, bridges the high skies to the earth below with a cascading torrent of rain. It is both the water which brings life and growth and the water which overwhelms everything save plants and soil entwined in each other's protection. While it is sometimes playful and often content, it is at heart a spirit of unrestrained excess. Setup. Put 1 presence on your starting board in the lowest numbered wetland. Playstyle. Cares a lot about the question, how useful is this power in the current context? It rarely plays all its power cards in any given reclaim cycle. Some get discarded due to growth, and for those it does play, it often has the option of using them multiple times. Benefits more than most spirits from having lots of presence on the board, both for rain and mud-suppressed conflict, and to facilitate its unique powers by making more lands wetlands. Complexity high. Summary powers, defense very high, control medium, utility medium, offense low, fear very low. Okay. But yeah. Drench the landscape. Spirit actions and special rules treat your sacred sites as wetlands in addition to the printed terrain. Fascinating. So, river surges in sunlight turns wetlands presences into sacred sites, and then downpour drenches the world turns sacred sites into wetlands. Oh boy. Pour down power across the island. For each 2 water you have during the fast and slow phase, you might either gain 1 energy, or repeat one of your land targeting power cards by paying its cost again. It need not target the same land. Max 5 times per turn, no matter how much water you have. Cool. So water is energy, or power. And yeah, I said slow and phase. It's fast and slow. Rather, it's fast or slow. And I suppose, yeah, 5 times per turn is the maximum, not just 5 times per phase. Okay. Growth options is pick one of these. Reclaim all, gain a power card, move a presence range 2, or add a presence at range 2, add a presence at range 2, gain 2 water, discard 2 power cards, or gain 1 power card, add a presence at range 3, gain 1 energy. So lots of presences you can place at the cost of discards, or place 1 presence and gain a power card and gain energy. And of course, the more power that you gain, or more presence that you gain, the more things you get. But in this case, the presence track is rather interesting, is it not? Energy track only gets you up to 2 energy. Gets you water, plant, water, air, water, earth, and 2 water. Okay. Card plays track gets you move a presence, water, 2 card plays, move a presence, 3 card plays. This is an interesting spirit in that you can't get to 2 card plays on turn 1. Interesting. Innate powers. Rain and mud suppress conflict. Fast targets yourself. At 1 air, 3 water. Each of your presence grants defend 1 and lowers Dahan counterattack damage by 1 total in his land. At 5 water, 1 earth. Each of your presence grants defend 1 and lowers Dahan counterattack damage by 1. At 3 air, 9 water, 2 earth. 2 fear. In your lands, invaders and Dahan have -1 health, minimum 1. Okay. That's a very expensive water cost, and you can only ever play 3 cards. It's actually interesting. You can only play 3 cards. That's like Shadows. Not Shadows, sorry. Bringer. Bringer of Dreams and Nightmares. He can only ever play 3 cards. Other spirits seem to be able to play 4+ cards very easily. This guy can only ever play 3 cards. Okay. If you have your max presence track, you have 6 water, so even without gaining the 2 water here, yeah, you can have 9 water. Cool. Water nourishes life's growth. Fast, range 0 targets any land. At 3 water, 2 plant. Gain 1 energy. You may remove 1 blight by removing 1 of your presence from target land. At 5 water, 1 earth, 2 plant. Gain +1 energy. Gather up to 1 Dahan. And at 7 water, 2 earth, 3 plant. When blight would be added to target land, instead leave it on the card. Cool. So blight removal and prevention, although the blight removal is a hefty cost. Nothing here that cares about wetlands, though. Spirit actions and special rules. Yeah, so there's like no special rules here that care about wetlands, right? Right. All right. Dark Skies loose a stinging rain. Fast, range 1 from a wetlands. Targets any land. Isolate target land. Push up to 1 explorer and up to 2 Dahan. That is a wetland, by the way. Foundations sink into mud. Slow, range 0 targets any land. 2 damage to town. If target land is wetland, you may instead deal 1 damage to each building. And yeah, sacred sites. Cool. Gift of Abundance. Fast, targets another spirit. Target spirit either gains 2 energy or may repeat 1 power card this turn by paying its cost. Either you or target spirit may add 1 destroyed presence to a wetland where you have presence, such as sacred sites. And an Unbearable Deluge. Fast, range 0, any land. 1 fear, push 2 Dahan, defend 3. If target land is wetlands, isolate it. 2 of these cards say isolate on it. Nifty. And then where was my starting presence again? Come on, get me back here. Thanks. 1 presence in the lowest numbered wetland. Okay. Getting into 2 card plays is kind of tricky on turn 1. Or, sorry, it's impossible turn 1. Getting into turn 2 is tricky, as I'd have to place double presence, which means I'm discarding 2 of these cards. Or I'm gaining a power card on turn 1. But that starting water might be helpful. Just thinking about, like, how do I defend turn 2, for instance, if I plan on doing it. Obviously, Unbearable Deluge is a defend innately. But Rain and Mud suppress conflict is requiring an air and 3 water. If I go up the card plays track, I get a water here. And then all these cards, of course, have water on them, and these two have air. So once I get to 2 card plays, I just play one of these cards and one of another card. Guess I will probably do growth 2 on turn 1, and then growth 3 on turn 2, maybe. How important is it to have that starting water, though? Maybe I take a power card turn 1, and then I have more options for discards down the road. Also, being able to determine presence placements for defense, for instance. Multiple presences helps with being able to get defense, although my presence granting only defend 1 is kind of, you know, sketch. But also having this water and playing a water card does mean I gain 1 energy, or I can repeat the power card. But only land targeting power cards. So for instance, if I play Gift of Abundance, I cannot repeat this. The Foundation Sink into Mud could be repeated, which means I could deal 1 damage to each building multiple times. Aha! Now you're thinking with portals. Isolating a land on turn 1 could also be good to avoid interland visibilities. Maybe. Depends on where buildings are. But, yeah, okay. Well, let's start the game then. Go. Yes, I'm here. They explore the wetlands. Notably, my sacred sites do not count as wetlands or invader actions, which is very good. Only for spirit actions and special rules, which I suppose spirit actions include power cards, or powers, period. I guess that is a good question though. What counts as a spirit action total? There's glossary. That doesn't say spirit action. Rude. I mean, pretty much I assume anything that spirits influence. I just wonder if, like, event effects. Obviously, like, an event card that says move a beast to a wetland, which obviously doesn't exist, but if it did say that, it's not a spirit action. But what if it was something like spirits may, you know, add presence to a wetlands or something like that? Is that a spirit action? I don't know. All I do know is that they're exploring wetlands. And as far as, like, isolating effects go, they have towns everywhere. Or visibility pretty much everywhere, and redundantly so. So, yeah, isolating a land turn 1 doesn't seem that good right now. Doesn't help that they added a town to 1 and 8, was it? Or highest number of land without towns and land 1. Right, so like 8 and 1 are the extra towns. Otherwise, like, isolating 7, if 8 didn't exist, would stop the visibility to, well, just 8, I guess. Because 3 would build in C4. Okay. Anyway, we're also playing Thunder Speaker. Let's start with what I do know. My general turn 1 play with Thunder Speaker, not saying everyone should play this way, but doing manifestations with Voice of Thunder, which also grants Town Destroy. And then turn 2 would be Words of Warning and Sudden Ambush. And you'd be going up the growth option 3 here, because energy track sucks. Just gain energy off growth option 3. And there's no reason to play 3 cards on turn 2 when you can only gain power cards with your reclaim. Unless you want to play 3 cards on the reclaim turn, which is perhaps valid, but you can't afford your hand because your hand is 6 energy and you only gain 1 per turn. However, there is a bit of a conundrum here in that the lands I would like to most influence would be F3 and F7, both of which only have 1 Dahan in it or nearby, which means a Voice of Thunder manifestations turn would be kind of crappy. Actually, I board F6 a lot with the Dahan just being like way on this side, and then the wetlands over here just completely isolated from those Dahan. We could perhaps think about doing an H6 or H7 instead, although this range is crap. So I can't actually grow that far. I'm only in F1. Oh, I'm also in F6 to be fair. But that's not anywhere closer to the wetlands. F7 could be sacrificed. There's nothing in there. There's a beasts, but beasts don't care about ravages. But F3 could be defended with words of warning next turn very easily. So maybe this is a weird turn for Thunder Speaker where instead of trying to do a lot, I just do little. Although doing little is not really that great, but I could like do a weird middle growth option thing. I could like just go up the energy track and get some elements up here. And then next turn do the presence and energy and go down the card plays track. It's not going to get me to 3 card plays that quickly, but getting that +1 energy and the innate air could be good. All I have to do is be able to throw a defend into F3 next turn. And like none of these cards are actually going to be that beneficial to play this turn. I could even just play 0 cards this turn and just keep my cards. Just like skip turn 1 altogether. Seems like a massive waste though. I could, for instance, just kill the town in F1 or do manifestations into F2 just to kill these 2 buildings. I mean, it's not that they're relevant this turn, but next turn they explore either jungles, sands, or mountains. Obviously, exploring jungles, killing that city would be nice. Exploring exploring sands, getting rid of the town in F1 means that they don't build a city there, or killing an F8 means they don't build a city there. And if I play Voice of Thunder and Manifestations, I can kill both towns very easily. If they explore mountains... well, there's not much going on in the mountains right now. It'd kind of be better to wait on Manifestation Voice of Thunder for next turn in that case, but... I don't know. Kind of weird turn 1 for Thunder Speaker then. Maybe I do stick with my original plan and do Voice of Thunder Manifestation, since 2 of the 3 explorers is pretty good. And if they do explore mountains, I probably just kill the towns in the sands and prep for next turn. Okay. So, put the presence in this one in case I want to kill the city in F2. Play these 2 cards. Furious Assault in F1 is probably always happening, regardless of the Explorer. It's just a question of do I kill the town in F8 or the city in F2 based on the Explorer. Cool. So now... Finder... not Finder. Downpour Churches, not Finder of Paths Unseen. Just kidding. That's a different spirit. Water, water, water. And so what do these powers do? Isolate target land, push an explorer. Obviously you would just stop one of these builds outright, and targeting H6 with this certainly would be the best gain. This power is not going to do that much. Oops, not this one. This one's not going to do that much for stopping builds with France, as they're going to just add multiple explorers. But pushing 2 Dahan into H7, for instance, means we can try to set up a defend in their next turn. Gift of Abundance on Thunder Speaker, we can't afford a second manifestation. Duplicating Voice of Thunder, I guess, would be a means of getting into F3 or F7 to do manifestation there. But again, we can just defend F3 and F7 we don't really care about. So I don't think I want to do it on that. Damaging a town. Target land is wetlands, instead deal 1 damage to each building. We can only play 1 card, by the way. Getting to this water would mean I could repeat this power by paying its costs, but we don't actually have enough energy to be able to repeat that. Nor would it be that great to repeat it in, say, H7 when it won't kill the city, and I could have just killed the town straight up. And we're not hitting any of these this turn. Well, I guess we're getting 2 water off this. But I can only... I could get up to this plant here. Actually, if I take this water and this plant, this always works, right? If I click the middle growth option, this always works. That's funny. Also, I assume that it says remove presence and not destroy presence for a reason. That reason being that it's not destroyed, is it not? Spirit Island, Downpour. Go to my trusted site, quirky.net. Doesn't specify here. If it is replaced during play, it goes to the destroyed presence pile and is applied onto the particular effect so as to put it elsewhere. From there, it can be restored by any effect that returns destroyed presence to the island. Anything replaced during setup is out of the game. As with the Race of Nature Incarnate, only 4 presence removing replacing effects send the presence somewhere special. Transform to a murderous darkness, call forth predators, and both bargains replace presence from the game. Though bargains puts the presence on reminder cards, it's just to keep players track of how many times they made the bargain. Okay, so when it's so this removal is essentially a destruction for destroyed presence effect. Okay. I guess there's a connotation of destroying versus removing. You're not destroying your presence to remove the blight. You're removing your blight in order to release the blight from the world. Or something like that. I kind of want to get to 2 water just so that I can gain 1 energy. And actually, if I do hit this middle growth option, not only do I get that 2 water, I get this water, and then a card play gets me another water. So I will get 2 energy or a repeat. And actually, I said I can't duplicate this, but I could. But duplicating this, isolate target land, push and explore, blah, blah, blah. Is that meaningful? Has to be from a wetland. So I could like put a sacred site in H4, which turns that into a wetland. The thing is F3 is already defended for next turn, but stopping a build would be helpful. And actually I said this card's not helpful down the road, but I can just repeat it and it works. I don't know. I'm gonna click this one. I'm definitely gonna move up card place track. It's raining. Fascinating. Sacred Site in H4 sounds right. And I can also move a presence. I could get that presence in H7 and prep for next turn, for instance. I do have to discard 2 cards, though. So which of these cards am I not likely to play next turn? Unbearable Deluge pushes Dahan, which isn't great. I do want to be mindful that I need to have an air card for next turn, I guess, to get this effect. Assuming that that helps. I will potentially need defend 6 and H7. However, if I am pushing 2 Dahan out, that's like I don't really need Dahan in this land. I'm not hitting this effect, right? This doesn't matter for this turn. And then this doesn't matter for this turn, so... Or can't even be hit for this turn. If I'm playing this one, the only other air cards I have left are Gift of Abundance and Unbearable Deluge. Maybe I just take Gift of Abundance to give Thunder Speaker energy, or maybe a repeat on Words of Warning, maybe. So if I'm keeping that and I'm playing this, then I'm discarding the rest of these. Although actually, I guess this was the means of defending H7. But if I repeat Thunder Speaker's power, I could defend H7 with Words of Warning. And with the innate, that should be enough to defend with enough presence. Okay. Let's try that. Discard, discard. And isolate target land 1. And move presence in here. Okay, we have plans. So isolate this land and push this explorer going to H2 probably, and then push the Dahan into H7. Each of my presences lowers Dahan counterattack damage by 1 also. So like 4 damage minus 3 is what's a possibility here. I will do this. Whatever. Defend it. And then I can gain energy or repeat this effect. I did say I was planning on doing that in F3. Actually, if I don't let F3 build, but I do both defends and H7, I don't need my special rule for this, which means it's actually slightly better to not have that next turn. Okay. So gain the energy and then repeat here. And let's go ahead and push this explorer in F2 as we're probably gonna kill it, and then the Dahan can just go in there as well. That's fine. Building there, and they explore jungle. Okay. So my manifestation in F2 is looking pretty good now. So Furious Assault destroying the town in F1. After all, I'm going to push everything into F2 and then kill everything in there with manifestation, but no other town can get destroyed. And then push these Dahan and bring my presences with it. And then manifestation. Alright, so for sudden ambush to work, I kind of need to be close to H7. Is this actually a turn where I do middle growth option, as my presence isn't close enough to H7 with range 1 presence? Before I do that, I do have power card here. I could have done this. Whoops. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, whatever. Gain power. So we're most interested in water, obviously. We do get a lot of water on here, though. But more waters means more energy, or repeats. But we're also interested in air, earth, plant. Uh-huh. So these don't have water. This has earth. This has air. And it doesn't have any of the others. However, this does say wetlands on it, which means that it's automatically better as I can put diseases everywhere. What's more important? That Earth is meaningless if I don't have air or plant to begin with. Actually, no, there's an Earth that matters without air over there, but still kind of meaningless. Need more waters. We can repeat this power card by paying its cost, which is 0, and just get 1,000,000 fear. I kind of like that thought. And since I can't actually give the repeat to Thunder Speaker like I thought I was going to, my range to H7 doesn't super matter. I only have 2 Dahan in the land. This is defend 4? Defend 3. I would need defend 2 off of presence, which lowers Dahan counterattack damage by 2. Pushing to Dahan means that I don't damage anything in this land, which shocks. Kind of upset that I clicked that card. Any reason to want to do things in F7 instead? I don't think so. That background is pretty. Yeah, I've actually been using this for a while. I mean, you just said it's pretty, so it's kind of weird to change it at this point, isn't it? Oh, it's pretty? Okay, let me change it. Yeah, I presume it's Starlight's background, after all. Constellations. And hello, clever retort not found. How are you doing? Okay, I can stop the F5 build with sudden ambush as it gathers at Dahan first. That's nice. That build stopped. Obviously, F2's not building. So that Ravage is fine. Don't care. This one, we're trying to think about what to do. Obviously, there's nothing net land. And then there's H1 and H5, and I have no plans for these yet. You still think Downpour should have a terrain graphic for stuff? I would not be surprised if that is in the plans. However, I am not a Handelabra employee. I just stream here. And John probably already said they're not planning on it. But turning it slightly bluish would actually be good enough in my opinion, but would also obscure the land type, I guess. But I don't know. Oh, you're actually saying I should change it? Change it to the picnic table background? Alright, we're now playing on the picnic table. Yay! I can only ever get one presence into F7. Obviously, put the presence in directly, but I can't. Oh no, this is range 2 move, isn't it? Range 1 move. Okay, never mind. Oh, you mean the downpour graphic could do checkerboard, terrain, normal, and wetland. Ah, yes. Okay, let's get rid of this. I don't like this background. This sucks. I do like this one a lot, actually. Yeah, range 1 presence movement kind of stinks. I could repeat this in F7 to defend it, but yeah, there's not really any reason to. I don't need to care about that. I could remove the blight there down the road if I so desire. I could put Sacred Site in H5. Oh no, I'm not going to have blight removal this turn. Repeating this for fear is kind of cool. Just like, how much water do I have? Just 3? Okay, so I can just feed it once. Probably better than gaining energy. TBH. It's not like these cards are expensive. I could have lit H7, not Ravage per se, but push the Dahan out into H5 to defend that for next turn. Oh, you're right. I can't actually grow into H4 as there's no Dahan there. Whoops. Okay, there goes my sudden ambush plan. Okay, so I can't bring Thunder Speaker over. In that case, we're defending 3 here, pushing Dahan out. And yeah, we could ping pong it, but eh. We will reclaim on Thunder Speaker next turn. We could defend H5 next turn then. Let's put presence just right in here. How about that? And then let's turn that land into a wetland. Aha. You are a wetland now. And Thunder Speaker. Just gain energy. Put presence down. I guess if I do this, I'm not actually going to be that close to H5 next turn. Oh, but I will be able to gather. Okay, yeah. So let's put presence in the Dahan army land. Set an ambush. Let's bring one of these guys. Okay. Oh, my words of warning is sad, isn't it? I can't like words of warning, period. It's only good to get another sun and air. This gathers 2, pushes 1. Which is kind of necessary to get my presence close to H5. Oh, I need another presence here, don't I? Hold on. Hold on. I need to go back. Undo my move as I need to actually get more presence here. Okay. As defend. Push there. And then defend. And we're saving that for the slow phase. And then suddenly ambush. And I can't even really do anything with this. Is there... I'll just defend this land, I guess. I could not play this card, but yeah, pushing and gathering more is necessary. And then let's save my repeat for the slow phase. The Frontier calls. Explore actions. Add plus explorer to lands without buildings. Ah, so France. Layered untamed lands. On each board, add beast to a land without buildings or blight. On each board, gather 1 or 2 Dahan into a land without Dahan setup symbols. Without buildings or blight. 3 options here. I'll click the other mountains. And then 5 options here. I will click the sands. Gather 1 or 2 Dahan into a land without Dahan setup symbols. This doesn't have Dahan setup symbols. Mm-hmm. Actually, wait, hold on a sec. We could gather these Dahan into H4. Because we can gather into F4 and then into H4. And thereby we can get more Dahan in the H5 using gather. So let's go ahead and do that. Bring in the Dahan army. Okay. Wetlands Ravage. Jungle build. And then Sands Explorer. Okay. So we don't add extra explorers to anything except to F1. 3 explorers. And they are building 3 towns. Okay. This is gather 2, push 1. So let's just gather straight into there. And I only need... This is only defend 3. On one hand, having more Dahan in here counterattacks, downpours, Dahan counterattack damage reduction effect. On the other hand, this is enough defend with just defend 1, so it should be fine. And then fear. And then fear. There we go. I just got 6 fear off of 1 power card, and it was a minor power. Okay. Both of us are reclaiming. For Thunder Speaker, it's 2 minors for sure. Anything that does things with Dahan. Ideally gives me air, maybe sun, fire, animal. Unfortunately, these don't really do great things for those. However, Poison Dew does say wetlands on it. And it is an anti-France card. So that's nice. Sap the Strength is a defend 5, which is nice. Like calls the like, gathers Dahan. Yeah, I think I like Sap. Poison Dew would be counter to France, but let's take Sap. It's just straightforward. And then... Fire, air, sun, nothing, nothing. This doesn't say wetlands on it. This says wetlands on it. Aha! Maybe that should have been saved for downpour. Oh well. Desiccating Winds is okay. Badlands? Or Badlands. This also says defend on it. None of these have animal. This one has air. This one has fire. I'll click this one. Okay, and then you reclaim. You also gain a power. It's going to be minor. Considering that your middle growth option has you discarding 2 power cards, it seems like having a lot of power cards is helpful. I mean, you could take majors if you just spam energy gain, but... This says Confounding Mists, but it does give me air and water. Otherwise, this does give air and earth. This does say wetlands on it. Each invader added to target land this turn may be immediately pushed to any target land or any adjacent land. If only ocean was in play. I'll click this one. It says defend. And you can't stop me. Move a presence range up to 2. Uh-huh. I think potentially we have H1 defended, don't we? Confounding Mist just defends it. And we can use Dark Skies to isolate H8, push an Explorer out, push Dahan out. I don't know what isolating does to that land, but if we can defend both H1 and H5, that kills lots of things. Alternatively, we can think about F1 a bit, I guess. Because that's the other danger land with lots of towns going down there. It's not range 1 from a wetland, though. I have only 1 plant card. Interesting. Maybe I should have taken this plant. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. I just work here, man. We already have range 1 wetland to H8. I could move my sacred site to H1. No, I can't move the sacred site there because... yeah. I guess... well, no, if I'm defending 4 on H1, I'm not doing the second effect there, but... on the other hand, I could repeat it. These two, so do you need to be range 1 to H1? I think I just moved my presence straight into H1. Straight out of the dumpster. Uh-huh. So I do get that each of my presence grants defend 1 and lowers Dahan counterattack damage by 1. And then H5, we defend with the card that we picked. And then we're not going to get any of these thresholds. Sudden ambush, unfortunately there's not enough things in F1. I can only gather 1 Dahan in there. Can add a Badlands to F1. If I could push a lot into H2 after the Ravage, that would be cool, but if I'm playing Sap into H5, then I don't really have the push. I could play Words of Warning, or sorry, Voice of Thunder rather, to push everything from H5 into H2 and then defend in there and repeat it, maybe. or just have downpours defend. If there's 4 Dahan in there, that's more than enough damage. I can lower the Dahan counterattack damage easily. So maybe I do that. Voice of Thunder then. Okay. So isolate. So I defend 4. Let's just throw that into H7. Keep the things grouped up. But yeah, I need more than defend 4 in here, don't I? 3, 5, 6. What am I talking about? I need more than defend 4 in there. Defend 4. Oh, I can just do this. Hey, that's what I was thinking of. In any case, this is defend. So everything's dead in there. Everything's dead in there? No. Explorer survives. That's okay. And then I can gain an energy or repeat this in this land to push the city out. Seems nice. Bureaucrats adjust funding. On each board with 9 or more buildings, build cards skip the highest numbered matching a land. On each board with 2 or fewer buildings, build cards cause 1 extra build action in the highest numbered matching a land. Terrifying beasts, 2 fear per board with 2 or more beasts. Hey, that's both of us. When invaders ravage, if the land has both Dahan and presence, defend 5. Aha! We did it, somehow. Didn't need any defend at all, apparently. I don't think there's 9 or more buildings on either board. Nope. Lucky Fear. Fear card says more I think we're safe. Sands build. Oh yeah. Go there. Oh, and I guess there were more buildings there? Okay, cool. Sands! Hey, that's gonna be 2 blights. Yeah, can I have 2 blights, please? No choice there. So this needs to be super defended. Unfortunately, I play my defend 5. And then F1 is really bad. They're building 5 towns. Yes. Yes, they are. That's just awkward. What do I do? I have a lot of energy. I could place 2 presents down, get to the reclaim 1 and 3 card plays, and I can reclaim this to defend 5. Defend 5 is enough. And if I get it repeated with Gift of Abundance, then I could also try to defend F1, which obviously that's not enough, but I also have Words of Warning. This is Gather 1, Push 1, which is not that many Dahan for F1 now. Although I could manifest next turn, maybe. I mean, obviously F8 is a problem this turn, but maybe I figure it out by next turn. H8 is a bigger problem because of the blight that's in there right now. Is this fast or slow blight removal? It's fast. Could get to this plant and then try to remove the blight with my thing. Obviously I have to play Gift of Abundance next turn. Defend 3 would actually be enough. But obviously then I'm kind of ignoring... I guess I would have this. And I can just foundations to damage the town or something. So maybe there's an option there. Just gather this. So if I'm doing this, needs at least one presence in H8. Maybe a presence in H2. Which I think we did, right? Because this was only defend... Or no, this was defend 5, which is enough. There is one extra Dahan in there. So I could lower Dahan counterattack damage if needed. I guess there is an issue in that I can't actually play both Gift of Abundance and Foundations unless I click this option. If I'm doing that, I don't get the plant. But I guess actually if I have this defended, I don't need the plant to remove the blight. So actually... This is essentially a +1 energy with extra steps. The thing about +1 energy off this is that I can only do it during the fast phase, so it doesn't help me with playing power cards. If I want to be able to play both of these, I need to be able to afford both of those. Do I need to play both of those, though? I mean, hitting the defend 1 is all I need for H8. Also, neither of us have destroyed presence right now, so this doesn't have its full effect. It would be kind of nice to remove the presence, or remove the blight. And then use this to get the presence back. But only to a wetland where I have presence. Which, if this is... Oh no, if I... Oh, Order of Operations kind of sucks, doesn't it? I can make it a wetland, but I can't remove that presence there by turning it away from being a wetland, and then also make it a wetland for putting my destroyed presence back. I guess if I have 2 presence in there, it doesn't actually matter, but... Yeah, I put the destroyed presence back there. Um... I guess I can defend 3 and then gather a Dahan and not actually use my innate. I can only gather 1 Dahan with this. And if it kills the town, it doesn't build, and I don't have to worry about killing the town later. So if I do Unbearable Deluge, defend 3 in H8, and then I do Water Nourishes Life's Growth. If I click this growth option, I get 2 more waters. And then Diggies give me 2 waters, an earth, a plant here, and then a plant from there. So I would actually hit that threshold. Okay. I mean, the Dahan counterattack was not an option I thought I had, but it works. So with these 2 cards then, and I remove... So I do this. I don't need my presence in H2. I don't need it in F1. Probably just putting my presence in Blighted Lands would be a pretty good idea. Discard these cards. Play these cards. So we have each of my presence grants defend 1 and lowers counterattack damage by 1 twice. Gain energy, remove blight by removing presence, and then gain 1 energy, gather up to 1 Dahan. There's no reason to isolate H8 at this point, as they've already explored sands for this stage. We have 6 waters, so that's 3 repeats or energy gains. And we can repeat this for fear. Repeat, we can't repeat that. Might just be energy. If we had energy problems this turn, I probably need energy. Okay, what about the Underspeaker? What do we decide upon? Getting to Reclaim 1 was the thought. So... dealing with F8 next turn, or F1. Well, I guess we're dealing with F1 this turn, and F8 is just going to be F8. Seems like working on this Dahan army is important. I think those were the plays I was doing. Defending H2, defending F1, defending F1 with these 2, I think was right. Repeat. Oh, I did that out of order. Defend. And then... oh, actually... hold on. I need to have another presence there. I think. Do I? I don't know. I don't think I actually do. Doesn't matter. Defend. Waters nourishes. Gather. Gift. Repeat. And then... sure, that one. And my presence is back! So that's defended and is a Dahan, so things die and they don't build. Sap here, sap here. So that's defend enough. Barely, pending the event. This is not defend enough, so this needs words of warning. Now it is defend enough. So this is done in the Ravage, this is done in the Ravage. This is fine for the Ravage, and then we're going to be doing Manifestation in there to deal with things. I think. Should be enough damage. This is a question mark. We're probably going to remove the Blight in the fast phase or something, and then something. We don't have enough plants to actually just... Or no, we have an innate plant now. So yeah, we can remove Blights by removing my presence consistently. So I don't care about Blights as much as I can just... So I don't need to repeat these. This isn't going to do anything other than isolate wetlands and generate one fear. Isolating wetlands isn't going to do that much. The most we can do is prevent visibility to H4. Isolating this wetlands, they still see H6. Isolating this wetlands, they still see everything nearby. And then I don't want to lower Dahan counterattack damage in the lands I'm in, so I will wait till the... If I'm not repeating, I might as well gain the energy in case there's an event card that says spend energy to do stuff. So I'm not using that power. Hi, Slave Rebellion. How are you doing? I forgot about you, as I always do. Okay. Well, unfortunately, I am very not set up for this. Very not set up for this. Man, this is a really bad Slave Rebellion. Actually, since I know this card's here, I can technically undo, right? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Seamus, hello. Uh-huh. Of course, the challenge is how do I actually utilize Slave Rebellion? I mean, one thing I can do is instead of using this for defend in H8, I can use this to push 2 Dahan from H1 into H8. And then I don't actually need to gather the Dahan, but I mean... I can only add 1 strife per board. Alright, so let's take this to here. But yeah, strifing this town in H8 seems obvious. Strifing a town in F1 would be nice as long as I can kill. Which, honestly, sudden ambush might then be better. Weirdly. Actually, sudden ambush, if you think about it, is a defend 2 card. It's kind of defend 2, isn't it? Gather Dahan in the F1. Kills the 2 explorers. Strife a town, turns into a Dahan, so there's only 4 towns. So I don't need words of warning for F1 anymore. I just do sudden ambush. This is the downside of losing a sun, so I don't actually get town destroy. But then there's a major perk, and I think F1's now solved? Right? Because there's only going to be 2 towns, but there's going to be 3 Dahan, so they die in the Ravage. That's a surprising turn of events. So now the question is how to deal with F8. I still need sap the strength for H2. Otherwise, I could replace sap the strength with words of warning and repeat that in H2 and F1, as I only need words of warning for F1, really. But I do need some defend. My gather the warriors is now gather 2 defend 1, or gather 2 push 1. It's not going to be that much damage in F8. But again, we can remove the blight and then worry about things later, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I just don't worry about F8. This is going to be an awkward place for my Dahan army to be, as it's very isolated from all the neighboring, like, not even neighboring, but the faraway buildings in Board F inlands. But maybe instead of doing that, I can do it in H1. In the event that they explore jungles, for instance. Or mountains. Actually, all the mountains are empty right now. If they explore wetlands, my priority shifts to wetlands, but I'm not close enough to any wetlands. Okay, so then... Oh, but I need to be in H1, actually. So... my presence was in H1 to begin with. So given that H8 is solved with the Slave Rebellion, then in fact what I want to do... unbearable offense here... and then remove that blight. I don't need to gather that Dahan. Oh, and then I do this. Repeat. Put my presence there. I don't need to do any more Dahan pushing. I mean, I suppose I could try to chain Dahan pushing across the island to get things closer to F8. But I'm not defending F8 this turn, so I don't want Dahan in F8, and the best I can do is gather 2 into F8, so it's... whatever. Sap. Sap. Sudden ambush. Let's take that singleton. And then I think we have the same conundrum about, like, is there any reasonable isolating H7 to avoid H4 visibility is still a thought. It's a 1 in 4 they explore mountains. Isolating F7 doesn't do anything. I guess it is a fear. Let's isolate that one and then gain energy. And not use that. Although... it doesn't actually hurt now. Because I don't care about the H8. I'm not in H8 anymore, and that's going to be dealt with another way, so I might as well just use it. Just, I don't know, just in case. Strife that town, strife this town. Invaders do +1 damage per land when ravaging. That's... Resolve, and now that's... Wait. Oh, I had to back out. Now that's a blight. We do have 2 fear cards, so maybe it's fine. Blight to the jungle or wetland with the most buildings was forced. Remove a blight from a land of at least 2 Dahan. Removed it from F1. Oh, nice. Defend 3 on all coastal lands. We did it! Each player may gather a town into a coastal land. You know, yeah, it was +1 damage total, but this was already defend 5 against 6 damage, so that was blighting. That's why I was looking at that. However, now that we got that defend 7, or we got defend 3, which means that this is defend 8 against 7 damage. And there is 4 Dahan in there. We can actually get a town into H2. I would have to daisy chain it, but there's no other, like, useful gather. There's no town there, no town there, no town there, no town there, no town. Yeah. Like, F8 is not adjacent to any coastal land. H7 is not adjacent to any coastal land. The only other town that can be gathered would be F4. So if I gather into H3 and then gather into H2, it dies. Okay. Explore wetlands. And they don't explore H7 because it's isolated, even though you'd think they could explore itself. Okay. I don't want... it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. We could, instead of dealing with F8, gather things into H6 and manifesting in there, which stops that city build. Can't do the same to any other wetlands, as I only have gathered to push 1. None of the other wetlands have Dahan in them. F8 could just get these 2 Dahan and 2 presence and then manifest for 4 damage, which isn't that impressive, and it leaves a city and 3 towns probably. So that would be 10 damage. I would probably still need to reclaim and play sap in that land twice. And that's just for that land to not blight. When there's an approach I can take at the expense of a presence to just remove the blight, and then let the land blight, but then they don't, like, cascade. Like, it's actually kind of nice to just use this, put a presence in a land, remove my presence to remove the blight, and then I don't care about the ravage anymore. Aha! Feels like I'm treating a wound by splashing water on it. Or treating a burn by splashing water on it. And then deciding that's good enough to re-burn myself, but if it works, it works. Yeah, I think since that just solves F8, I can just focus these efforts on dealing with the other wetlands. So, gather 2. And then world's saddest manifestation. I probably reclaim manifestation and then take energy and then worry about H7 next turn or something. I mean, my defend 3, I don't need to play it, or it doesn't do much this turn other than give elements, which is fine. Let's reclaim. I'm at 5 energy. I'm gonna stick with miners. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Call of the Dahan Ways is one of my favorite powers in the game. But Sky Stretches gives me a lot of elements that I would normally care about. Renewing Rain kind of gives me also good elements. Kind of. I don't really need blight removal when I already have blight removal. You have perfectly good blight removal at home. On the other hand, getting another plant card means I can trigger that blight removal more reliably, since that's the only plant I have on my presence. Obviously, don't have to play it this turn. Let's renew the rain. Because I like it. I obviously need to get presence in F8, but I can move this way or this way to do so. I could Renewing Rain. I could also Gift of Abundance. Which might be good for energy this turn if my plan is to take manifestation back. If I take the air off the presence, off the energy track. Then playing all these powers gives me 4 air actually, so I can do these fast. Which is interesting as I will also have Town Destroy. I only have 2 suns, so it's gather 4, push 2. And obviously, like, F3 is still very far away, but F3 has nothing in it, so it could blight. Pretty much, it seems like my game now with Downpour is just let things blight and then remove the blight while Thunderspeaker takes care of all the Badlands. But I feel like dealing with H7 is a little better, as board H is already mostly cleared out. Board F has a lot of bad things deep in the land that I can't seem to deal with. But we'll worry about that tomorrow. If I remove the blight from F7 next turn, then I can let that land ravage and not care about it. So I just let that land blight and remove the blight, and then I don't care. And then Thunderspeaker focuses her efforts on H7, and then F3 blights. That's apparently what I'm doing now. There's also something to be said about hitting this top threshold to not just remove the blight, but also prevent new blight from going on there. But maybe that's the plan for F7 next turn. So I think I used the range 1 move to put that presence there. Range 2 move. Don't know where I want that yet. Don't have any presence down on this part of the board for Downpour, but Thunder Speaker has this part of the board on lockdown pretty much. Kind of just want to leave my presence in blighted lands, honestly, so I have options for blight removal. So let's just move this guy over here and leave the guy in with the buildings. And then we play this one for energy on Thunder Speaker. And then I don't have to play any other plant card. I don't have enough waters for that. Don't have enough other things for that, so it's pretty much what I want, I guess. We're almost at Terra level 2. You know, strifing cities would be good for Slave Rebellion. Repeating this for multiple strifes could be good. I could just do this to strife F7 entirely, and then I don't care about that land at all. But, I mean, that seems like a bit of a waste. It is free strife, though. Maybe I just take 1,000,000 energy. How much water do I have? I'm going to have 4 water, so I only have 2 repeats. I mean, I know everyone's watching me play Downpour terribly. It's like, oh my god, Logic, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Rah. I don't care. Island's healthy. I'm winning. Everything I'm doing is exactly correct, and you can't stop me. I'm gonna play that one. I like to trigger people on the internet. Let's put this with this Dahan. Play this, play this. Reclaim that, play that. Finish. Let's... oh, this land. Remove that presence. And then Gift of Abundance. Gain energy. And I can add presence to a wetland. Whoa. I'm not in any sand, so I might as well use this. None of these, or I guess this is the only power, but yeah. I can't repeat that. I have Words of Warning for defend, I guess. I can do these fast if I wanted. I don't think there's a reason to do those fast, though. I mean, I guess I could defend F1 just in case something adds a building there. Or maybe H8. Because I could, the event could potentially push a town out of H7 or something. But yeah, I don't think I need to get the Han in here fast. Or destroy towns fast. So I will just... Oh yeah, I'm gonna wait until the slow phase to decide if I just want Strife or Fear or something. After the first successful build action, add an explorer to an adjacent land without invaders. Okay. On each board, push up to 2 explorers or 1 town from a land with beasts. 2 Fear per land with Dahan and cities. I don't have to push those guys. But I can just very easily strife the city in F1 and then Not care. I will push them into this sands that's not doing anything. I got fear. Each player adds strife on land with beasts, disease, Dahan. For the rest of this turn, invaders have -1 health per strife. Could use that to kill the city in H7. The next slave rebellion is way down the road. So strafing a city in anticipation of this is kind of not helpful. But if I strife the city in H7 twice, it's at 1 health. So when I manifest in there, it dies. But I mean, I'm also gathering 4 Dahan and then manifesting. It's like that land's super dead anyway. Maybe I just strife F7 and then not do this in F7. Also seems like always. I could use this for fear. Maybe I'll just strife H1. And F7, I guess? I don't know. After the first successful build action, add an explorer to an adjacent land without invaders. Okay. So that's not successful, right? And that's not successful. So this is actually forced. What should go first? Doesn't really matter. F2. Mounts. Okay. I'm going to click F6 on this board for no real reason. I'm going to click H4 on this board, even though it's more inland, because there's a 50% chance of coastal next turn. Okay. So gather 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then gather all my presences. The question is, how many presences do I need to keep in here? Can I push 2 Dahan out safely? I don't think I can. 3, 5, 6, 7. I need 7. Actually, I mean, pending the event, I only really need to deal 6 damage. So I push 2 Dahan, but then ignore... Oh, but I can't lead the Furious in H4 if I'm not in that land. And pushing 2 Dahan and a presence out means that I'm only dealing 4 damage in H7. I could defend. Otherwise, I don't have a valid place for Furious Assault, right? Okay, I guess I do push these 2 and then move a presence. It's another sad manifestation. I can add a Badlands here. Why not? And then... Oh, actually I could just strife this town. Okay. Then this is defended. Yeah? Yeah, okay. That's defended. The rest of this is just going to be fear. 2 repeats. Certainly 2 fear is better than an energy. There's not really anything else I can strife other than explorers, which is silly. I could strife an explorer and turn into a town, I guess, but fear. The way to win this game is through fear. I can play 3 cards if I do this. Do I want to? Obviously, I can play this plant card to remove a blight somewhere. I can also use this to remove a blight somewhere. I can remove all the blights. This island can't burn because every time blight gets added, I just remove it. This is obviously reclaim. And this isn't really going to be the greatest elements. I'm thinking I'd take a minor and then a major to forget sap the strength. Defend is okay, but let's see what we get from this. If it's something else I probably want to consider forgetting. When blight is added to target land, it doesn't cascade. That's another way of just ignoring the blight issue. Like F3 I have nothing for right now, but I could just let it blight and I don't care. This has nothing in it. Obviously getting Dahan in there would be nice. There's not that many surrounding Dahan though. This is defended. There's nothing in there. The builds are here. Not very many good elements here though. Like none. I get a fire. I get an animal. It's actually been slightly better on downpour. Maybe this is the power I forget instead, as Defend 5 is better than these. I mean, Rights does prevent builds on a land with Dahan, which means they don't make towns. Or cities or whatever. I mean, this I think is the only one that I'm considering. Let's replace it with a major. Uh-huh. Well, there is a spirit that keeps destroying their presence for some reason. They can destroy their presence in the same turn to play Blazing Renew. Now, of course, I'm not actually going to be able to play these cards this turn, of course, but... Weave Together is also an interesting power. Gives me air and sun, doesn't give me anything else. But 4 air, isolate the joined land of House Invaders, 2 fear, and remove the 2 invaders. That's nice. Target land and a land adjacent to it become a single land for this turn as the terrain and land number of both lands. When this effect expires, divide pieces as you wish. All of them are considered moved. If I play this power, I can't actually hit the threshold this turn. But it's an interesting way of dealing with some of these builds. I could like target H4, weave it together with H3. Turns into one giant mountain with 4 explorers. So instead of building in 2 lands, they build into 1 land, creating 4 towns. And then I can push all the towns into 1 land after the turn's over. If I do that, though, I do get Town Destroy, I guess. If I play Defend 5 and then this and then that thing. Yeah, that would kind of be cool. Is that worth the effort? This one's more reliable damage. Or not, I mean, this one doesn't even do damage directly, but this one's more reliable in a sense. Target spear will always have destroyed presence with downpour, but does it matter? I think I take weave. Haven't decided yet if I'm going to use it this turn. Downpour is going to take middle growth option that gets a 3-card plays and then do something with it. I guess if we weave H3 and H4, we could actually isolate the land and push everything out of it. And then there's no build, period. But obviously you can just defend F3 by unbearably deluging a million times. I'd like to play that power. We're currently building 7 towns. Okay. We are getting rid of 1 town. At least. And we can try to do the trick of moving Dahan over to F3. This option gives me 2 water. I'm going to have 2, 4, and then 3 plays for 7. So I will have 3 repeats. But this needs 3, 5, 7, 8. It needs defend 7 at least. I feel like waiting on Weave Together to tie it with Manifestation would be a bit better, plus being able to hit the threshold on it would be better. Let's play this one and defend F3, and then it's kind of annoying that I can't plan out the power cards I'm going to play before I discard them. Or discard the other ones. But Confounding Mists or Unbearable Deluge for F3. Also playing that to push Tudahan from H4 into F3. Basically doing that just to kill towns, honestly. So I'm doing Renewing Rain. I'm doing Unbearable Deluge. And probably... getting a Sacred Side in F8 actually is tempting for Foundations, honestly. I'm gonna start by doing that just for kicks. So that F8 is now a wetland. I can actually kill all the buildings in F8 if I repeat this power twice. It does cost energy to do that, but it does generate 7 fear. That's probably worth. Okay, so let's get rid of this one and this one. Play these powers. So it can remove a Blake card and gather a Dahan. And then presences provide million defend. Now I do have a move or 2. I have 2 moves, so I can set up Unbearable Deluge. Blight removal, I can just do it in F4 as that's the most relevant place right now. Presence move. I mean, I don't really have a defend for F3 if I'm not in F3 directly, but I would like to... I could remove the Blight from F7, I guess, but... Or F8, even. There are places I can do Blight removal. Kind of like to not spend Words of Warning and sap as both my defend cards and save some of them for next turn as needed. Can I use Sudden Ambush? Yes, that stops H3. Yeah, so Sudden Ambush for H3 is good. That's done. Obviously I can do it in H4 instead, but actually, maybe it's better in H4. I don't know. There's a Badlands there. But there's a lot of, like, central mountains I need to think about. And F6 is just gonna blight, because who cares? Board F, which was Thunder Speaker's board, by the way, is just gonna have a million things in the inner land, and that's fine. Everything's fine. The thing I don't really like about this, though, is that I don't have sun. Having some sort of town destroyer would be nice. On the other hand, if Dahan is in there, Wards of... but yeah, I said I don't want to play both of those. But if I do, like, this and this, I don't have fire. Okay. Okay, it's impossible. It's impossible. That's what it is. It's impossible. It's not, but we can pretend it is. Alright, and then I need 7 energy, but I'm only gaining... Ugh. Ugh. Energy sucks. Still have to figure out the last move. Yeah, I feel like I have to do this. I was going to remove the blight from F4, but now I'm not. So remove that blight. Don't gather that Dahan. Oh, also I can't add it back because it's the other power that does it, right? Okay. So an ambush here. And then sap. Deluge. No. Deluge here. Then deluge here. Move my presence. And then I still have 2 repeats, right? I used only 1 repeat. I think it says on here, right? Has been used once this turn. Okay. So I have 2 repeats left and I'm saving it for this. So I'm done here. New species spread, aided by moon. We have no moon. On half the boards, add disease to a land with both Dahan invaders, damage Dahan there. Each spirit with 2 Dahan among its lands gains an energy. 4 energy aided by moon. Ugh. I mean, I could just let the invasive species bloom. I think Slave Rebellion is the second from the top card, as we had these 3 cards. Slave Rebellion. This is the replacement card. This is card 1. This is card 2. So we have card 3 and then Slave Rebellion. So Slave Rebellion is the second from the top. So we actually know that on the turn we have Slave Rebellion, we would have this card, so we can actually set up for that. Let's the invasive species bloom. And if it's fast, add blight to a land with buildings. Oh, okay. And okay. Well, I added blight back to the board. Add disease to land with both Dahan and invaders. I don't want it in F3. Not that it really matters, but I do want to kill the towns. Every other land with Dahan doesn't have buildings in it, so it has to be board H. Kind of counting on those Dahan in H7 to kill those guys, so I guess H1 has disease now. Energy. Skip the next normal explorer. Okay. Jungle Sands, blight removal. First, let's just do this. Cool. There are 2 jungles and 1 sands with blight. I can't hit this that jungle. I guess I hit the land that I'm not in right now, since I can always remove blight from my lands very easily. So I remove that blight. Okay. Push 4 to Han, and then gather 3, push 1. I could reclaim sap. And you're reclaiming next turn anyway, so you can unbearably deluge as needed, I guess. Defending F4 is a little more important than defending F6. Although I can just place a presence there and then remove the blight very easily. I can also conjoin lands into 1, and it's a single land to defend, which is interesting. We are 11 fear away from tier level 3. There are 4 cities on the board, which is a lot. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. If I do conjoin these lands, I would have to defend 10. Probably possible, especially if I can repeat sap. So I just want to get 1,000,000 Dahan into these 2 boards, or these 2 lands. I think gathering out of F1 is kind of important. So let's get these guys. Push the 1. and push the rest. Okay. This is a reclaim. You're sitting at 6 energy. Dare I take a major? Dare I? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I want water. I found the water card. I found the water card that you would want. I found the water card that you would like. Although also bargains exists. I don't have sun though. Range 1 wet. It also says wetlands on it, by the way. Guessing I forget a 1 energy card. I probably don't need foundations anymore. Foundations was good for that 1 turn, but now I have a card that deals 14 damage. Okay. I want to conjoin these lands. Before I do, I want to defend 5 in it twice. Do I? I can do Unbearable Delusion a number of times in it. And then after I'm done, I can then conjoin the lands. And then the Dahan will be in that conjoined land. And then that's still just gonna Ravage. And that's fine. Placing a presence and gaining energy, and probably also just going to gain +2 energy. Because why not? And there's 5 Dahan in that land, so gain it there. Play these powers. And then an animal card. And then you have all those thresholds met. You still have a Reclaim All, by the way. Or Reclaim 1. I'm just gonna click this one, as I don't think I'll be able to spend much energy next turn, but you never know. I do have the threshold on this, so I do get Fear. Don't think we need to do a repeat on Thunder Speaker, although it would put a destroyed presence back, but that's fine. The land's gonna be isolated anyway, so I don't need that part. I mean, I could just Cleansing Floods, can't I? Just do it. Removes the blight from F6 at the very least. Sardia Wetlands. I will have a land to remove a blight from in H4/F4. So I could just move my presence to H1, I guess. Cleansing Floods. Unbearable Deluge. Plant card. Not the one that repeats or gains things, I guess. I don't know. And I still have 2 moves after all that. Okay. Anywhere I want my presences to be, I guess. They don't have to be an F3 anymore. Feels like I kind of just want to move it into H4, even though I don't need it to be there, but I might as well. Maybe I don't want to do that because... Two, 4, 6, 8, 10. There is a Badlands in here, which makes me a little worried about a Dahan dying. Only after we place a Blight, right? After Invaders Ravage for each Dahan destroyed, not ravaged. Okay. Doesn't even require a Blight to be placed. I guess the question is there a Sacred Site Jungle Sands range 1 I can hit? Yeah, there's several. Okay. I mean, I guess I could just put 2 presents here and defend 4. I would need to defend 8 in order for it to actually be enough, but even if I moved presences differently, I don't think it would matter. Okay. I feel like I'm just overthinking. There's like nothing major happening this turn. I'm just trying to min-max the way I usually do. Defend. 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 Weave. And I'll just remove the 2 explorers. Defend 9. They're doing 8+1 damage, so that should be fine. I don't need to... I mean, I guess I have Words of Warning, so it doesn't actually matter, but... Actually, yeah, I do have Words of Warning, so maybe... Okay. Maybe I don't need all of that. So I can just do the last defend there, and then do this somewhere else. Although, actually... Okay, yeah, no, I think that is actually enough defend for F6 at that point. If I move my presences here. This. Then yourself. Then weave. Why does that defend 8 now? Oh, because of this? Yeah, okay, that's why. No. Oh, no, it is, because it's 2 defend each, right, okay. I do want to remove this presence then, to remove that blight. I can gather a presence. Or gather a Dahan. Sure, why not? Dahan army. Sacred Site. Defend. I can do those fast if I want. I don't want. So there's no blight this turn. There's no build this turn. We have 2 fear cards. I've gather 4, push 3. So like I could conceivably. I was just trying to see if it would tell me how much Dahan damage there would be, but I could conceivably put 1,000,000 Dahan in F6 and then destroy things in F6. Considering that like I don't need to move Dahan for the build as there's no build. How much Dahan is in this joined land? It does summarize it, actually, doesn't it? Yeah, okay, so 6 Dahan. I only need 2. Or, sorry, I only need 4. So I could put 2 into F6. And then kill a town there. The problem is that there's 2 of his presences there, which are lowering Dahan counterattack damage by 4 total. So the 2 Dahan don't even do anything in the counterattack. That sucks. There is a manifestation that I could try to use instead, but I think it's just better to wait for the slow phase. I could try to get more fear to try to get the terror level 3. But I don't think it's going to give me enough fear in time. So I'll just wait. Okay. After advancing invader cards, perform a build step for 1 terrain not shown under any invader action. Beasts deal 2 damage, destroys tokens, destroying buildings. On each board, add Dahan to a mountains or sands with Dahan. Okay. I can save this beast. I don't need to kill towns. I can add Dahan to this board, to this land twice. Kind of be nice if I could put it in here. Obviously, board F can only go into F4. Board H, kind of would rather it be a little closer to H1. They just put it here because it's... actually no. Let's not do it there. Let's do it in H2 because there's... It's always... Wait. Oh, I'm looking at this wrong. It's either jungle or coastal, so coastal jungle will always be explored. Each player adds strife and land with Dahan for the rest of the turn. Okay. Strife the city. These guys are all dead. And that's it. So strife the city. Choose a different coastal land with Dahan. Gather up to 1 Dahan, 1 damage per Dahan. Okay. Not helpful. Guess I take this. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Terror level 3. Can I kill the 2 cities? Jungle with escalation. Oh, right. This land's isolated. So they didn't explore F5. Okay, so they're building sands. Event card is like, alright, you're building sands. These are the only 2 cities left though, right? No, there's a city here. Should just be able to win in the fast phase, right? Somehow. There's no ravage, so I can't do counterattack damage, but... surely we can win in the fast phase. The annoying thing is I only have 2 instances of damage here. Manifestation and Cleansing Floods. Cleansing Floods is almost certainly going in F6. There's no other place. Map a station in F7, and then we do have Slave Rebellion. I think we win with Slave Rebellion, right? So Cleansing Floods just to kill those things. Renewing Rains, remove a blight from jungle or sands. Again, not many places to really do Furious Assault in. Manifestation to kill F7 probably, and then Slave Rebellion at H1, so we're gonna have to get a presence in H2, and then oh, but we can't push 2 to Han like that. Oh, but I can do this. Okay. Got it. Figured it out. This is gather 4, push 3. Also 2 fear cards at tier level 3. Just stay there. Yeah, the Alcon has moved. Yes, yes. Uh-huh. Okay. Range 1 wetlands. I'll just click this one. Why not? I have to discard 2 power cards. Not using that. Not using that. I don't really get very many things. Oh well. Doesn't really matter at all. I'll click that one. It's fun. I can repeat power cards many times. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh, I guess I weave with this for Slave Rebellion. I'll weave with this for Slave Rebellion. I hit the threshold on that? Oh yeah, I did. Cool. I could destroy that town. I don't want to. I can destroy this town. This power is going to use 2 times. I can only do it 1 more time. Any other places I can put Dahan with towns? Here? Doesn't really matter. Let's just win the game already. Oh my god, a Slave Rebellion. Destroy town. Wow, those were actually forced. Strive to any 2 things. Yeah. No cities on the island. Also no towns. I was never worried. The invaders are deeply afraid, and no cities remain to turn to for refuge. The remaining populace swiftly evacuate the island. Okay. 61 points. 10 for victory, 35 for difficulty 7, 8 for the 4 remaining invader cards, 8 for the 17 surviving Dahan, and 0 for the 1 blight left on the island. Cool. And the 1 blight was in... there. It's there. That one. Right there. And in case we weren't... in case we were worried, we had 3 cards at Terra level 3, and we were 8 fear away from Terra level victory. So that was cool. Turns out downpours are scary. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk? Well, the island was not close to blighting. I think we're down to only 2 blight on the blight card at one point, but like, I mean, once we unlocked the power of removing blight, it was funny. Had a lot of lands, had a lot of buildings, and we're just like, whatever, I'll just remove the blight, let the land ravage, and then remove the blight again. Well, this is a fun reintroduction back to streaming. I hope you enjoyed it. I should be back next Thursday. And then I think the Thursday after that I'm going to be working. So we'll have to reschedule. Yeah, I'm happy to come back to streaming. Happy to see all the new Spirit Island content. Happy to participate with you guys once again. But that is it for me this week. Hope you enjoyed your stay. Check out Handelabra Live on Tuesday for more demos of Spirit Island Promo Pack 2 material before it is publicly available. But until next week, guys, stay dry. Or get wet in the downpour because it's actually like summertime and hot and stuff. It's actually really been really warm lately. Downpours sound therapeutic, but not too much rain, please. No.